Hey guys, welcome back to the show Riding the Pine. Today's show is proudly brought to you by our sponsor, Game Day. And we are up here in Belmont this weekend hosting the 2026 Women's Country Championships. And I thought, what better to start this show with than bringing on an NBA board member? Trav, mate, good to have you on the show, mate. How you
Good
doing?
to be here. Not too bad. Thanks for coming
Well,
up.
hey, look, the field's looking great up here.
Yeah, no, the Belmont Club in particular done an amazing job. We've had a bit of rain, which has made it quite green for us. So
It looks perfect for playing.
No, it's good field.
So obviously, for our audience back at home, just to give a bit of an interest into your background and how you kind of came about this process. So you're chairperson of the NBA.
Yes.
So how did you get that job?
Yeah, so I've been on the board for a couple of years now, actually. So someone that always likes to get involved, not just from the playing point of view, but off field as well, and they like to give back that way. When the previous chairman, Dwayne, he decided to move on from his role, I like to see progression going forward, and I thought, what a better way to actually talk the talk, walk the walk, and attempt to give it a go.
Well, obviously, you've got a bit of a baseball background yourself. I understand you're from the northern regions of baseball.
Yes, so whilst I originated in Coffs Harbour many years ago, did move up to Townsville, so part of North Queensland. Moved down about 10 years ago.
So how did we twist your arm to come south of the border?
Jobs does kind of manipulate you.
It's
somehow.
It's real life, right?
Redundant. Moved down here for a job, but yeah,
hey.
Had a baseball club in Newcastle before a house. So
priorities. I like your priorities.
Got my priorities.
And I'm sure Belmont, and not just Belmont, but the whole association appreciates you helping them out.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. Well, let's get stuck into it. So obviously we're here for the women's on the weekend. So women in baseball, it's such a growing space in general.
Definitely.
In baseball, right?
Definitely, and I think it's not just baseball, but sport in general.
Yeah.
It's great to see it get a little bit more exposure. We do tend to think baseball in particular, it tends to be that men's sport, but that's not the case, right?
No.
And you look at the local Newcastle region in particular, and we've had Emeralds. Britt Hepburn, for example, dominated World Cups previously. And not just her, we've got many girls around the association that have played at the highest level possible in Australia. And we've got to celebrate that, but also give the opportunities for those coming through that want to be that person in the future. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really passionate about it. I think Newcastle's done some great things in the last couple of years.
I mean, look, I think not just myself, but I think the greater world is obviously looking to see how this foundation and structure is growing, because as you said, like it's not just in baseball, it's in the greater women in sport, and there's bigger followings, and with that comes sort of like bigger tournaments, more opportunities, and it just draws more and more women to baseball and sport in general.
Definitely, and I think one of the best things you're going to see about today is just it still maintains that family atmosphere, and I think the culture around women's baseball in general is just amazing. It's one of the best things I've been involved with. It's just a vibe, no matter who you're talking to. I think for me, like everyone's on different pathways for baseball. Some are going up, some are going down. But at the core of it, if you don't enjoy who you're playing with, you're probably not going to come back. And I think everyone that's been involved in women's baseball in particular, it's just something different. It's awesome.
It is. I mean, obviously, like the male side playing it, we kind of bond around coming to baseball, and there's no doubt that that's going to be the same feeling the women's going to have. And and I think people need to see that and feel that, and to sort of go through that, to be like, hey, I want to be a part of that kind of fun. I mean, I see, mums on the sidelines, dads on the sideline, but it's like, hey, I want to see my daughters out there kind of just like throwing the heat, bringing the heat. I mean, hey, there's an MLB women's draft now. There is something to aim for.
There is, definitely. There's a strong pathway now that I think when you see the pathway, you're going to want to be on that pathway. And I think the future's only going to be better than where we are now.
Definitely. So is there any particular names we should be having our eyeballs on this weekend?
Oh, yes, there's a few in this tournament, actually.
Yeah.
I think, I believe we're being graced by Maddie Irwin. She's from ACT. She's in the Emeralds.
Okay.
But we do have, in the Newcastle side in particular, Ebony. Ebony's been one of the starting pitchers in New South Wales for many years now. She's actually playing with her sister this year, so that's pretty awesome to see. She's played at the showcase, but that doesn't mean that some of the other girls aren't on that pathway as well. We're quite excited to get some of the young team through and start them on their baseball journey as well.
So not just with the women's, but let's talk about the future of Newcastle, because obviously we're not specifically just talking about Belmont, even though it's had a great facelift and it can host tournaments now. But how does what's the background of the NBA board's future now look with you at the helm, and what do we, other grounds, other teams, what are we looking at?
Yeah, I think the last couple of years we've made some really good progress with participation in general. I think every club is pretty much growing. We've got some massive growth regions to the west of Newcastle that we're trying to tap into, and the clubs over there are, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but we're seeing a really good progression in each region. I think one of the strengths about Newcastle is that we're individual across a large region. That allows us to build our own identity
Yep.
and strengthen our strengths, right? So when we're tapping into those, we're going to get more people want to come to those clubs. If we cater for them with the right programs, the right coaching, we're going to see more and more participation, which is only going to bring everyone up. So the last couple of years, we've seen Lumsden back up and running. This used to be Diamond 2, is
Yep.
what we used to call it. But now we're seeing it as the main field, and it looks amazing, right?
And when you guys see this on the live streams over the weekend, you'll understand, like, if you knew what Belmont was, because I haven't personally been here for over a decade.
Yeah.
When I pulled up, I was like, oh yeah, there's the normal field. Like, oh, like the other fields like on the back, and the upgrades are just through the roof.
Oh, amazing!
Like,
it's so good. It's a great atmosphere when you're here for any of the normal grade games. The vibe is awesome. The canteen's really close to the action. The spectators are really close to the action. The fencing, it's freshly painted, so that makes it look better. But it's just a nice place to play baseball.
Definitely.
So no, we're really excited to host it here.
And so you obviously guys got a pretty good grant or help with the council with upgrading these facilities.
So this upgrade, if you swung the camera around, you'd be able to see all the football fields. So this is about a $40 million upgrade in total over a long period of time. They've spent about $40 million to upgrade some of the football fields. They do share it with cricket, so there is a little bit of dual sport usage here. But yes, they've been fortunate enough to upgrade this facility as part of that overall sporting
So
development.
speaking about, she's sharing the field. So what is the seasons like? Is it's a winter or a summer season or both when it comes to baseball here in Newcastle?
Yep. So Newcastle is predominantly a winter season.
Okay.
So we start from basically Easter running through to the end of September. Uh, we run a women's program, the Women's Social Series. We run that in summer, in a bit of a lead up to the winter season, hoping to get some people to transition over to the main competition. So we do have
sort of like a spring training almost.
It pretty much is, right? We think that's a model that could be scalable to the future and
so too.
bring up social baseball in general, right? Masters competitions, A and B grade, whatever it might be, but bring back the social aspect of baseball, going back to enjoying the people, right? And once you start getting more usage year round of these facilities, we can start basically growing those facilities, investing in those facilities,
Well,
getting
because
more and more
people are more aware of what's around them. Hey, like, oh, I got this new field. What's going on there? And then you give it a little bit. Okay, we play a winter season here. What else can we do there?
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's all, it takes time. We just got to sow the seeds for it, make sure we got a sustainable approach to it. And yeah, hopefully, maybe not this summer, maybe next summer, we focus on having a midweek social series, right? And those that still want to play at that higher level down at Central Coast and Sydney, still cater for those. But at the same time, if you want to come back, play with your mates and short games on a summer, that's my goal. I'd like to see that we can get to that eventually. I said I'd like to do it within 2 years, as long as we're taking steps forward.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, at the same time, you don't want to limit yourself from putting hard deadlines, because that's nothing. Like, when you feel rushed, you may rush a product or rush an idea, and then it doesn't meet the expectations that you thought it would. And sometimes people can be a bit sort of disappointed, like, oh, I didn't really want that. But like,
the key thing is to make sure that whatever you implement comes through and it's a sustainable thing going forward, right? And that does take time. Sometimes you've got to commit to something and really push yourself towards it. But at the same time, a sustainable approach for everything that we do is what we want to focus on. So
so with that, with the obviously trying to, like, we speak about trying to use the field more in summer, like late afternoons. Is there potential for lights here? Has that been discussed?
So this facility, unfortunately, probably won't get lights. Lighting in Newcastle is it's a delicate topic. If you ever went to a club, right, and you said, how could we upgrade your facilities?
Yeah.
Everyone says, put the hand up, I want lights. Um, and realistically, local governments, councils, clubs, association, we can't invest in that on a broad scale. So
Okay.
we have been fortunate to receive a grant, or Toronto has been fortunate to receive a grant. We're going through the process, the final steps of that. Hopefully that does come to fruition, and we should have lights in Newcastle in the next couple of years.
So that's for Waterboard Oval,
That
is
is
that
for
right?
waterboard, yes. So a little bit of things to do. Was obviously broadcasted, but still going through the planning stages, as you're aware, with all these projects.
Trust me, I've just come from, Tamworth to Illawarra, and you are not alone when it
Yeah.
comes to lights.
Oh,
It kind of bugs me. It really does, because it just feel like with lights, your availability to do flexible things with baseball, winter, summer,
100%.
midweek. Oh, it's just
So when we look at, say, the women's social series that we ran, one of the drawbacks is we did run out of light. So
yeah,
it was difficult for us to really um, hold it at the right time slot to cater for a larger
yeah,
population. If we have that, we can start drawing people from, they can actually make it after work. They can drive up from other
yeah,
locations. It also means that, we improve our training, not just for that local club, but all of Newcastle,
big time.
particularly our junior rep programs. We can run more sessions as well. Um, and, once again, the tournaments start coming into play,
Oh,
right?
big time, big
Yeah.
time.
So I think it's, we're taking the right steps. There's a lot of work in the background that we will get there. But once again, you're right. Having lights opens up the opportunities that you're just not quite there yet.
I mean, if I was to compare, I mean, I've been to now coming from the Illawarra that hosted the 16s and 18s.
Mm.
They had 3 fields.
Yep.
You guys have 3 fields,
We do have 3 fields today.
right? I see that. Obviously it's not as good as Diamond Two, but it's there, and it's progress towards bigger and better things.
100%, right? And massive credit to the Belmont guys. So they've got a little men's shed that's working on these facilities. They've spent pretty much all week here and the weeks prior. As I said, when you look at it on the camera, these fields are spick. They've done a lot of good work. We've squeezed the field out the back, and it's given inspiration to make it a little bit more permanent. It's a temporary mound, but it's a mound, and yeah, we'll get it running
No,
tomorrow.
you, you,
It's
you
good to
guys, you
get
guys will.
6 teams. Sorry,
Yeah, 6 teams running on a sort of 3 games, 3 game slots, and then
it's a lot of baseball.
it is. But that's the thing, right? So when we don't have lights, we have to compact the daylight.
100%.
Like first game's going to be 8:30, and last game kicks off around 1:30, something like
Yeah,
thereabouts.
yeah.
And so like the rest periods are less between games, and so we push our players a bit in that sort of sense. But
we just don't allow them to cool down. They're ready for the next game. Good to
it's
go.
winter, you can't cool down.
No, a bit of deep heat and you're good.
So obviously we spoke about the fields and the futures. So development of players in Newcastle. What sort of programs or initiatives, or however you want to call it, how are we looking after players?
Yep, so there's a couple of facets that we're looking at here. So if I stick to the women's to begin with,
Yep.
the women's social series, we create that as I guess, an easier entry into the game. So it's an 8-week program where we focus on the social aspect of the game. We cater it for different abilities, right? It's able to be scaled. Using that, we're getting more people involved, getting them keen to jump into the winter season. So we're developing them by giving them more opportunities for people that wouldn't normally have that.
Yeah, that's great.
From there, there's a couple of facets with the development as well. We're very fortunate to have partnered with Hunter Academy of Sport for the last couple of years, and they've now got an agreement with Baseball New South Wales as well. So we've recently revised how we do the development program, and we're just going to tweak it a little bit more, working with Gary Everson on that one, just to make sure we've got good alignment through all those different hubs. So we're excited to, basically that will come out shortly, more information shortly on that, but we'll start rolling that one out very soon. With them, we do have that high performance program through the academy, which allows you
so
strength
that'll
and
be
conditioning.
the central hub.
Yes, so I think it's Gary will be able to elaborate a little bit more on that. Both Central Coast have done a lot of good work in this space as well. They're running programs at the same time as we run our programs, and it's about just making sure we've got that good alignment across all boards. We do partner with Central Coast quite strongly with the Hunter Coast arrangement for our state titles which is the Little League pathway as well. So that hub, that model is definitely there.
So if you guys are working with Central Coast in that aspect, now said it's been a while since I played up in Newcastle. There's always rumours of potentially merging of a Newcastle and a Central Coast. How can we fuel that fire? Has there ever been sort of a more serious discussion about that by any chance?
Um, Not in recent times. I think you're seeing the juniors in Central Coast have been growing quite substantially, and I think you don't want to take that away. Same thing with Newcastle, right? We're having massive growth in that, let's say, under 14s age group. So
Okay.
10 to 14s, we're getting about 40% year on year.
Yep.
We've doubled our Little League teams in less than 2 years. And what's more is our juniors are also going into seniors. We're getting that nice cohort. They're also boosting our senior numbers.
Because
And you're
that's
seeing that.
that's the point I wanted to kind of
Yeah.
to speak about. It's not just it goes for a lot of associations. The junior space is pretty good,
Yes.
and even the intermediate from 12s to 16s, even to 18s, is solid, right? But the conversion from that to men's or to women's is it's a struggle kind of point for a lot of people because they come into the real world of jobs and relationships and stuff. Is there something that Newcastle has found to help that space of transition a bit better, or
Yeah, I think it's all about the support network. What's really good to see over the last couple of years is every club has, particularly like third and fourth grade, got some good young juniors coming through, and they're all very well supported. And look, life happens. Sometimes you make an error, you feel bad about it, you let yourself down, but you haven't let the team down.
no?
They've got that support network there to come pat them on the back and say, "No worries, mate. Next
Mm.
pitch," right? So that I think is key, and that comes from the coaches and the support network that all these clubs have around them. And I'm very proud to see that that's happening across everyone. But the way we can really support that, right, is the development of coaches.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've been very fortunate. I work quite closely with Gary. He's a member of my club, so
That's a good
yeah,
little name to
yeah,
have part of your
yeah, it
crew.
helps a little
Yeah,
bit. But so we're working on methods to hopefully bring up coaching development. I'm a big believer of continuous improvement. We do our coaching course. Yeah, okay, you got your certificate. It should never end there. It's a body of knowledge that
yeah,
we want to create those environments that we learn from each other. And the way you do something might be slightly different to how I taught it, but now I know that that's what works for your players as well. And I can now incorporate that to someone that I think is going to respond to that. So I wouldn't know that if I didn't see you in that atmosphere or have that conversation. So we're doing a bit of work to grow our coaches because I can teach my crew, but I can't teach that crew. Well, no worries. Then if we can teach the coaches, we can reach more people, bring up
yeah.
everyone together, and I
And
think that's the core to the development.
and we also don't burn out people by overloading them with duties because, like, you're say accredited to a certain level, so you handle that, or you're the next level, you'll handle all of that, and the more that we spread out the experience and exposure, everyone's just kind of the cohesion is a lot better.
100%. It provides that pathway. We talk about player development all the time and player pathways all the time. At some point in time, you're no longer buying bats and batting helmets, you're buying fungos and coaching helmets.
Yeah.
And we've got to provide that pathway for them. Same thing if they want to go down the umpiring route. Baseball is not just you throwing a baseball fast. There's a lot of other facets of the game that we want to support. And as I said, continuous improvement, body of knowledge with coaching. I think there's a lot of great work we can do in that space. And I think with the way that the coaching courses are now going to be run, where you do get credits for certain experiences and attending certain sessions, that's a great opportunity, not just for Newcastle, but for other associations to really get this development going.
Well, yeah, because obviously as a player, like your priority is just to not sound selfish, but as a player, like you're not thinking about umpire school, scorer school, canteen school, right? My job is to be a player. But when you start playing less, and you're like, oh, I still want to give back to the community. I still want to be involved. It's like, all right, now I can look at these different avenues, right? So, is there in Newcastle like um, any regular umpiring courses by any chance?
We do have our umpires accredited to run the basic courses now, and that's really good. We were quite fortunate. Was it last year? sorry, I don't want to lie, but recently
Yeah.
we did get a lot of our junior umpires attend a course, and you're seeing for the country championships for the 12s and 14s in particular, you'll see a bunch of our young 16 and 18s boys go out and umpire those
Well,
games.
I was speaking to Mr. Brian Sullivan down in Illawarra, and he was mentioning about the junior umpire program that's just
Yeah,
been producing a lot more. Because generally, it's not the go-to thing as a young kid to be like, I want to be an umpire.
yeah.
Um,
Sorry,
but yeah,
got a couple of walkers. Yeah, sorry, no worries. Yeah, we just, yep, cool. Hey, blooper reel once again. It's all
I
good.
love editing.
Yeah. It's just a hard cut right there,
Yeah.
so we're good. All right, no worries.
So I spoke to Brian down at
Yes.
Illawarra, and he
Yeah.
was obviously talking about the junior umpires that are coming through, and I thought that's something as a junior I would never think to even be involved in. I mean, I back myself as a player. I won't lie, but and it's I don't even know if it's about the skill level as being a player, but like just the passion to be part of baseball, and whether you are a scorer, an umpire, or just a groundskeeper, all these people need to help out the bigger baseball puzzle.
100%. And I think, particularly with these junior umpires that were coming through, providing those opportunities for them and providing that support, like it's very rare that you go out and do something without having a little, feeling confident in doing it, right? No one, once again, you don't want to let people down. That's, you might not be letting people down, but that's what you feel. So how do we make you more confident, right? And having juniors out there umpiring, even their siblings' games, or I've got, excuse me, I've got one of our younger players in seniors. He's coming down and helping umpiring our junior league and senior league games. So he's now getting that extra experience. As he gets older, more confident, he'll be able to do higher level games. And that's what we want to see, right? We provide them with that little bit of knowledge, a little bit of confidence, and then they'll take it further, right? So I'm quite excited.
Yeah, same. Likewise, especially in that space. Obviously, speaking of our scorers,
Yep.
is there a similar space for the scorers? Like scorers, what do you even call it? Scorers camp, scorers school. What do you like? Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I'm not
Again,
really good at the terms.
no, I'm. That's not my specialty area. You can tell. So I feel like I've got to ask the big boss.
No worries. I'll have to come up with a really nice term for the course. No, what we've done is with scoring in particular this year, we've rolled out Game Changer from Little League through to first grade. Now, it's not mandatory. We're not ready to make it mandatory. We've got a lot of scorers that have been doing it for years with the book.
Yep.
Some people are more confident with the book. Some people are more confident with Game Changer. In the future, there will be a transition. That might not be next year. It might be 5 years, 10 years. Doesn't matter. But what we're doing now is just making Game Changer available. A little bit of work from the association that needs to happen in this space, I will admit. Just rolling out those training sessions, rolling out those modules just to boost that confidence and understanding of the system. So that's something we can work on. But having said that, the take-up's been amazing. I remember the first week we rolled it out, pretty much every game in the association was on Game Changer.
Wonderful.
And what's more is we have shows like this, other, Belmont put their games up on Game Changer. They live stream it. My club live streams when I'm there. Boomerangs will do it as well. Toronto have a dedicated YouTube, right? So we're starting
Mr. Hudson?
Mr. Hudson, he's doing great work as well. So you're seeing the exposure get out there, and this is just once again a little tool that can be used to grow the game.
Big time. And so speaking of that, now when we spoke earlier about obviously baseball was generally a male dominated space, it's now the women has sort of grown alongside the men in that kind of aspect. Scoring with Game Changer, are we seeing like maybe more males do it because it's easy with the technology and we kind of take the stigma away from it just being a mum thing?
To be honest, I think we're quite fortunate that we look at the score, and I haven't really paid attention to
the gender,
the gender, right? But you're right; it's more accessible for just people in general.
But I mean, even juniors, right?
Juniors,
because,
100%.
I mean,
yes.
Babies are born with pads,
Yes.
So you may have a 12-year-old back there on Game Changer pumping away,
Yeah, look, it's not the be all end all scoring system, but you're right. For some people, their brains work in a way that they understand it. And once again, it's providing that option, right?
Yes.
We don't make it mandatory; it's available. We've just tried to make it as easy as possible for it. Just a quick one on the male dominated sport. We have about 900 members in the association.
Okay.
About 100 of them are women.
Okay,
So
that's a massive
it's a
uptick.
lot more than people think,
Yeah.
and it's particularly a women's social series as well. But no, you play many of the grades, and there's a lot of people out there. So the perception is not necessarily the reality.
No, and I think when you, because how do I say, even the reason I love to sort of do the coverage for such tournaments like a women's is because generally the males are not coming to check out the women play, versus like generally the wags, the wives and stuff will come watch their partners play, but it might not be a role reversal instant thing. And so I would like to sort of see more public come down and see the women's.
Definitely, I think you're going to see a lot of spectators down here over the weekend. I think one of the best things with the women's social series, right? We did a bit of a forum before we kicked that off, just trying to work out what model would actually work for our players. We didn't want to commit to something and then it not be sustainable.
Yep.
And going back to that, some of the feedback, unfortunately, was yes, a 20-week season over a Saturday. That's for my family. And we wanted to make sure, once again, that it's accessible. We're actually removing those barriers to entry for people to enjoy the game because we like the game. It's a great
Yeah,
game.
absolutely.
So, and when we saw that, we had, families, mum, two daughters, and then the dads are on the sideline, taking the photos,
Yeah.
and it's great to see, right?
Oh,
It's a complete,
absolutely.
it's a massive, it's an awesome environment to be with, and I think it's becoming more aware. I think it's going to be the future of baseball as well with
Yeah.
these programs with that same mindset.
I mean, obviously the girls, obviously you got some key individuals that potentially could influence others to come in, and you sort of need those key individuals, obviously, to speak and to grow and sort of come on camera as well and be
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, like I'm enjoying this, or I got into it because of X, Y, Z. Because they're always like in life, people are looking from the outside in, but afraid to ask, how do I join? I enjoy it, but I don't know how. And you know, the more we can expose baseball in general, but also women's sort of sport, it just we make it feel more easier to approach, to join, to be a part of, and stay long term.
100%. And actually, where we did the social series was at Boomerangs. They helped us out greatly with the field. It's on the main drag. We
Yeah,
put signs up. And I remember one of my mates, he got some baseball gear delivered, and the post person said, "Oh, you play baseball? I saw the women's program when I was driving past the other day." So it's
that's as
getting
easy.
out there.
Yeah,
It's get more people involved just by seeing that, and yeah, we got one or two from driving past, and that's one or two that will grow next year and
absolutely,
next
man.
year.
And the most important thing I think on top of that is having the foundation or the structure for someone to come in,
Mm,
because say there was no women's team, women coaches, whatever, and their only entry was into a men's program, they might be a bit deterred.
correct, and
But
it does happen. Unfortunately, it does happen, right? And I think that's the beauty about providing those programs and whatever it looks like. We took the social model, and I know some other associations have taken the social model. But those that were keen to train a little bit more, we catered for them.
yep,
But from that, we were finding that they enjoyed the game.
yeah,
A lot of people really enjoyed the game, and they decided, yes, I do want to now commit to that mixed competition. And 15 odd, 20 odd percent, depending on the year, were transitioning into the winter season who never would have previously.
that's so
So
good.
that's not too bad.
And do you see just as much or even more competitive drive from the women in playing against each other, or
If they're versing each other, oh, it's terrible. Yes, there's a lot. I think it's a very close knit community. Just local baseball, but then you add women's baseball in particular. Our last training session was terrible because they were going at each other the whole time and making it way too competitive. So
there's always got to be a winner?
yeah, look, it was good to see. I think we're just holding off. No, all good.
Oh,
So
no,
that's
good.
another blooper reel. But yeah, no, there's a lot of competitiveness, and it's good to see, right? Sisters on sisters.
That's what we want.
It's
I think it's a driving factor in a lot of sports of just the drive to be better than the neighbor
yes,
or the person down the street or someone within the family even.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
But no, hey, look, that's a great introduction. I'm glad you sort of were able to sort of cover a lot of those topics for us and the audience and stuff. Now, obviously, the guys, the tournament itself kicks off tomorrow at 8:30 down here at Millers Field and Belmont's facility. So hopefully all of you guys can join us. But Trav, mate, thanks for joining us on the
Thanks for
show.
that.
And I'm sure we'll be touching base over
No
the weekend.
worries, we'll be around, and yeah, I'll be out coaching. It's a great little team that we're involved with, and quite excited to host this tournament. It's one we definitely wanted.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for joining us on the show today. Obviously, today's show proudly brought to you by our guys at Games Day Sportswear. And we look forward to seeing you across the weekend. Till then, take care. Thank you.